At MovingLeads.com, we are pleased to offer a complimentary feature for our customers, the Response Tracker. This online tool will help you determine if phone calls, emails, or website quote requests are a result of your postcard mailings. To start, simply log into your online account. The Response Tracker is listed in the submenu of Features. When you click on the feature, the Response Tracker form will open. We built this form to be used in a couple different ways. The most important function is a matchback tool. By entering an address from an appointment or a booked job in the form, our system will automatically look to see if a postcard was mailed to the address. By entering all the addresses collected, you will be able to more accurately identify if your postcard played a role in responses. Entries can be done at any time after collection of the address. You might choose to have your staff enter responses daily, weekly, or once a month, whichever works best for your staff. The Response Tracker can also be used as a primary tracking tool if you do not have a CRM software or other system of collecting responses. Simply have your staff keep the form open, and as they're handling phone calls, they can enter the caller's information in real time. You'll then have all the person's contact information stored in the Response Tracker. Let's start at the top of the form. Your postcard asks homeowners to contact you in one of three ways: phone, email, or website. You will check the box to track which source was used to respond at the top of the form here. Note that when you click on the source, additional tips about handling responses from this type of source appear below. Let's start with phone calls. If your staff is using the form in real time, you'll keep this form open on the desktop, and when they receive a call, they can enter the customer's information like name, phone, email, and if they book an appointment, the address. It will be important to try on the call to identify if the caller is responding to a postcard, just in case an address is not given for a matchback. In the tips area, we provide the best questions to ask the caller. First ask, "Where did you find our number today?" This question is proven to prompt callers to mention the postcard. If you use a general question like, "How did you hear about us?" often the person will forget that they even have a postcard in their hand. If they respond on your website, ask the follow-up question, "And what brought you to our website today?" Because 94% of people that receive a postcard will first visit your website to verify your information, they will often use a phone number from the website. Asking why they were on the website, again, is the best question to get them to mention the postcard in their hand. If the caller reports a postcard, you can check the box here and have the call automatically recorded as a response to your campaign without having to add an address. Sometimes phone calls won't result in address collected. We provide an area to include a note for the reason that an address was not collected. In this example, it might be that they weren't ready to make an appointment but will call back later. On some calls, the caller might mention a reason other than the postcard, like they've seen your trucks. We recommend that you still enter the address in the Response Tracker to do a matchback to your mailing list. Oftentimes, the person won't self-report the postcard, but using the Response Tracker, you will now be able to look up if the postcard did in fact play a role in the caller contacting you. Let's jump into the reporting to see those two entries as they are shown in the Response Tracking reporting feature. You can see that one entry shows that the caller self-reported, and the second shows that this person was in fact mailed a postcard. Both are counted as a response to your campaign. You can click on the ID number and see the details of the entry. Here's where you can see the notes entered about this call. We will come back to this report again, but let's look at how to add entries from other sources. For email responses, if you use a unique email address on your postcard, then it will be easy to identify the response as a result of the postcard. You can still enter these responses in the Response Tracker so that it is included in your reporting. Again, just check the box to record the response without having to enter the full address. But if you use an email on your postcard that appears on your website or other marketing campaigns, then you can use the Response Tracker to match back the address collected to identify the responses that received a postcard. The last source is your website. This is probably the most important and most underreported response source. As we mentioned earlier, most people will visit your website first. Movers often make the common mistake of not tracking responses on the website. An increase in website traffic and quote requests will often be attributed to a digital marketing campaign and not their postcard. We recommend using a unique URL on your postcards. That way you can automatically measure the website traffic that page has as a response to your postcard. For example, we use movingleads.com/offer on our postcards. We know that if someone visits this page, it is because they received a postcard. We also have a sign-up form on this page. Any entry on this form is imported into our CRM as a response to our postcard mailings. We recommend that you have a quote request on their page and import these into your CRM so you can identify the quote requests as a response to your postcard. Even if you have a unique URL and quote form, you can also enter these responses into the response tracker using the checkbox so that they're included in your reporting. If you don't use a unique URL, it will be difficult to measure website traffic. But with the response tracker, you can now know if a quote request is a response to a postcard. We recommend you enter all submissions from your online quote requests into the response tracker. You will need a full address to do a matchback, so make sure that your quote form asks for the full destination address or that you follow up and get the full address before entering into the response tracker. Let's go back to the reports. You can see below that both entries of the website source are now included in your responses. For reports, you can set a date range. Below, the system will show you all the responses entered into the response tracker and how many of these were a result of your postcards. The report at the top also shows how many postcards were mailed during this time period and calculates the response rate. Note your recorded responses might be from mail dates much earlier than the dates entered above. Below in the report, there's a column that shows the date of the mailing and the date of the response. If you want a truly accurate response rate, you should use the number of postcards mailed from the mailing dates that appear in the list below. If you have just started mailing or just started entering responses, this rate may be very small. But after 6 to 8 weeks of mailing and consistent entries, the percentage will give you a much closer average response rate for your campaign. You can download the recorded responses in an Excel spreadsheet. You can then add the spreadsheet to build an even more detailed report like tracking jobs and revenue, which can help to calculate your ROI for your overall campaign. One last item. You will probably need to invite staff members to have access to the response tracker. You can invite a coworker by clicking here and entering their email address. They will be sent a user invite and they will be given access to the account and the response tracker to start using. An important part of marketing is being able to track the success of a campaign. We hope that you will find this new feature a helpful tool to track and record responses to your direct mail campaign so that you can prove your direct mail is working for you. Please don't hesitate to call us or email customer.service@fmadata.com with any questions.